Morning. Today we'll be looking at Admiral Trench, going to see if he really brings a Separatist team up to Galactic Legend speeds, and it's kind of like a sleeper team that people aren't really looking at, or is he just another okay team? So with that being said, let's jump right in here. Here at the bottom, you can see I've already got it kind of set up. This is the typical, a lot of people recommend for Admiral Trench. You got Admiral Trench, Newt Gunray, Wat Tambor makes kind of like the trio that makes this team work. And then Count Dooku, obviously, is giving you control and damage output. Jango Fett is purely damage. You could run a Saj in here. I personally don't think it's a very good fit because Saj, if you look at her kit, has a lot of callouts and Night Sisters, and it doesn't really jive as well. Plus, Jango Fett, with his Bounty Hunter resolve, is going to be more durable than a Saj will, even with their heal. Plus, Jango Fett has some incredible damage output, but Saj is an option if you want to pull Jango Fett out and run him with like Bounty Hunters or something. Now, going into the main leader here. So we're just going to start with this leadership here. Separatist allies have plus 30% max health, protection, and potency, and have plus 10% speed for each ally with tech and each enemy with extortion. Now, right here, we're going to cover this in a little more detail later, but very important here, plus 10% speed. Watt hands out 3 different techs, so that's 30% right there, and then if you're up against 5 enemies, that'd be, and you get extortion on each one, that's another 50%, so you're looking at plus 80% speed boost. And just to give you kind of idea real quick what that would really entail, let's just jump over here to the handy dandy calculator. So let's say your team averages, say, 250 speed, okay, just for an average. So times that by, you get your 3 techs out there, 1.3, you're averaging 325 speed for your characters, which is quite a bit, because like some of the fastest Darth Revans I heard only got up to like 350, so you're getting to some of the fastest Darth Revan speeds ever achieved. Obviously, Galactic Legends are faster, but let's say you manage to get the 3 techs out and extortion on each of the enemy characters. So now you're looking at an average of 450 speed, which is easily within the realm of Galactic Legend speeds, and that's for we're talking for the whole team. And let's jump over here to Wat Tambor. Been working on their mods. At the moment, Wat Tambor is my fastest character, and he's sitting at 279 speed. I could get him faster. I need to get some more mod materials, but 279 speed. We'll just plug that in here for you guys. Times 1.3. If all you got's the text, you're looking at 362.7 speed. With the text with all 5 extortion, he's over 500 speed, 502.2. and I can get them faster. So as you can see, this team has amazing speed potential, and they can be even faster than this if you have one of Admiral Trench's Omicrons. Over here, if we scroll down here, while in territory wars, right here, he gives two of his Omicrons give speed. This one down here, the first time each enemy is reduced below 100% health, Separatist allies gain 20% offense stacking and plus 5 speed stacking until the end of the battle. So there's an extra 5 speed there. And let me find the other one, which should be over here. Under I Smell Fear. While in Territory Wars Omicron, allies with Tasco Supremacy have plus 25 speed. So there's a flat 25 speed there. As through the battle that you reduce enemies down below their 100% value, you get another plus 5 speed stacking. So tons of speed on this team for speed potential, and doesn't stop there. He keeps giving out more stuffs here. So let's finish up with the leader ability here, and we'll move on to the other parts of his kit. Whenever a Separatist ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they gain 20% offense for 3 turns, stacking, which is great for like Jango Fett, Count Dooku. While a Separatist ally has tech, they has a plus 100% potency. Great for getting those stuns and debuffs out. When a non-Geonosian Separatist ally gains Bactoid Shield Generator tech, they dispel stealth from themselves, and while they have Bactoid Shield Generator tech, they are immune to stealth and gain 100% critical avoidance and defense. So typically, on this team, what I've seen suggested is you put the Bactoid Shield Generator tech on like Jango. I suppose you could do it on Count Dooku, because he would counter every time he gets attacked. You put it on him, and then when you do stealth, or try to do stealth, everyone else but that one character is stealth, and then they get attacked by the enemy. Okay, kind of use them kind of like as a tank. What I've seen is the recommendation to put on Jango Fett. While Separatist ally has heal over time, they have a plus 30% counter chance. While they have protection over time, they have plus 30% defense penetration. While enemy has burning, which Jango Fett dishes out burning, they can't assist, counterattack, or gain bonus turn meter, which is really good. And we're gonna get to the Omicrons here in a second. I Smell Fear. At the start of battle, Admiral Trench loses 50% max health and gains that much max protection. While Trench is active, Separatist allies have plus 50% potency, so here's more potency for the team. He gains protection over time, 10% for 2 turns at the start of his turn. While he has protection up, he's immune to buff immunity and healing immunity, which is good. There's a lot of teams out there that one dishes out buff and healing immunities now. The first time each enemy loses all protection, at the end of that turn they are feared for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Fear is a great debuff Whenever another non-droid Separatist ally is damaged by an attack, defeated or evades, Trench has a 50% chance to gain 100% turn meter. Whenever an enemy dispels protection up from Trench, they are inflicted with shock for 2 turns. So, as you notice, as we're going through his kit here, he's specifying non-droid Separatists and then non-Geonosian Separatists. So basically, you can't really use any of the droids with him or the Geonosians, and which is perfectly fine. We got enough characters to. And then his basic deals special damage to target enemy, shock them for 2 turns. Target was already shocked, stun them for 1 turn. Allies with Tasco Supremacy gain heal over time and protection over time, 10% for 2 turns. So it kind of helps keeps the team alive there. Net positive, dispel buffs, deal special damage to target enemy, inflicts stagger for 2 turns, and call all other non-droid Separatist allies to assist. This is a great ability, right? Attack right here. You get, obviously you get all that damage out there, stagger, you're removing buffs. Then, after all that, non-droid Separatist allies gain Tasco Supremacy for 2 turns. And if you have that 1 Omicron, that means they also get plus 25 speed when they get this in Territory Wars. Trench gains protection up 40% for 2 turns, and Separatist allies gain protection up 20% for 2 turns. Tasco Supremacy gives them plus 30% critical damage and potency, more potency, increased damage, recover 10% protection at the start of turn. If dispelled, recover 40% health, then gain advantage and foresight for 2 turns at the end of that turn. So they're going to get some kind of benefit if they keep it or if it gets removed by the enemy. So as you can see, he helps keep the team alive, gives them more damage, tons more potency, speed. And for Omicrons, all of his Omicrons are for Territorial Wars. I personally would recommend getting I Smell Fear first, because allies with Tasco Supremacy have plus 25 speed. Speed is still very important in the game, so I think that's a very good thing to have there. Plus, whenever an enemy resists a debuff from a Separatist ally, they lose 10% critical damage and 10% tenacity for 3 turns, stacking. Plus, when Trench's health is reduced below 75%, he recovers 100% health, gains foresight, protection up 50%, and tenacity up. So it kind of gives him like a second life, so to speak. While a Separatist ally has heal over time, health recovery is increased by 15%. Same thing if they have protection over time. So, and then I'd recommend getting his leadership Omicron. Non-droid Separatist allies have plus 50% mastery, plus 75% max health, max protection. If they have tech, their turn meter can't be reduced. Enemies with extortion will be critically hit if able. And then when an enemy dispels a debuff, Separatist allies gain 10% turn meter. First time each enemy is reduced below 100% health, Separatist allies gain 20% offense and plus 5 speed, stacking until the end of the battle, which is great. Lots of, stat boosts in there. And then his last one I would do would be unfinished business. During Trench's turn, he inflict ability block on target enemy for 1 turn. And reduce their critical damage by 20%. till the end of the counter. Stacking. Target enemy was already debuffed. Remove 50% turn meter from them. Non-droids, Separatist allies recover 30% health and protection. So, get some extra stuff when he, does his basic. I guess the main thing there would be keeping your team alive with the 30% health and protection recovery. So that's Trench right there. And just want to take a moment. Now, if you guys are enjoying the videos I'm making, please hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos that come out. And we're going to back out here. So, obviously, Newt here is important because of dubious dealings. Grant the extortion ability to target enemy. They already had extortion. Grant it to the weakest enemy that does not have it. You inflict speed down on all enemies. Deal 20% max health damage to enemies with extortion. And then enemies who use extortion grant profit to allied separatists. Extortion. You get the ability to remove extortion. You cover 10% health. Grant separatist enemies profits. Plus 10% critical chance and critical damage per stack. A max of 50%. Which, more damage is always good. So, extortion here is going to give your team more speed under the trench lead. It's 10% for each enemy that has extortion. He has motivate, which this here is basically is another call everyone to assist. Increase target enemy's cooldown. This is just a basic. You reduce the cooldown of motivate by 1. It's the main thing on here. Whenever a separatist ally inflicts a debuff, they also deal 5% max health damage to that enemy. Enemies with extortion have a negative 30% speed and offense. So right here you're slowing the enemy team down while speeding yourself up. New Gunray has kind of like a second life. When he's defeated, he's revived with 100% health, turn meter, and it comes back as stealthed. Now, Watt here is your other person here. So at the front here. Sorry. At the front here, he's going to basically get access to these 3 techs. When you hand these techs out to other teammates, you get a plus 10% speed per tech that's applied. So obviously here 3 techs, that's plus 30% speed. And they're all pretty good. Recover 5% health protection at the start of every character's turn. 5% bonus protection. This character is Separatist, so but basically 5% health and 10% protection at every person's turn. Definitely can make a character super tanky. The Bactoid shield generator. Recover 30% protection. Dispel any debuffs. This team don't have any tanks, so can't really use a taunt. Blast Tech weapon mod. Gain 15% turn meter at the start of each enemy's turn, and the enemies can't be revived when they're defeated by this character. Basically makes a particular character go really fast. That's the main thing under him. Obviously he can revive under his discharge energy. And then he hands out during Watt's turn, he hands out heal over time, twice allies for 2 turns. Out of turn, he inflicts damage over time on target enemy and removes their turn meter. And he gives out more stat boosts. Start battle, other Separatists allies gain max protection equal to 30% of Watt's max health. So obviously you want to have tons of health on him. All Separatists and Darks, we won't have any droids, so all Separatists have plus 30% critical avoidance when they have heal over time. So they'll take less crits hits, hopefully, when they have that. Whenever an ally with tech, it uses a special ability, what is called to assist. So that's kind of the main trio there. Jango Fett, he's going to basically be your damage dealer. He won't really be able to use any of his bounty hunter stuff, but deal physical damage, gain 15% offense for each enemy you suffering a debuff, which definitely, he's going to benefit from all the other characters getting those debuffs out. If the target enemy is suffering a debuff, Jango Fett attacks a second time. His basic does really good damage. This is his rocket, deal physical damage to target enemy and to a random enemy, so 2 enemies. Inflict healing immunity and stagger the target enemy for 2 turns. And then the burning, inflict burning for 3 turns, then deal physical damage to all enemies. So basically, the burning here is going to help keep the enemy team from being able to counterattack you under the trench kit. Jango Fett has plus 100% defense penetration, plus 50% max health. Enemies defeated on his turn cannot be revived. So, like maybe given one tech of Watts that gives a turn meter and keeps the enemy from being revived to Count Dooku, then you have 2 characters there. If they kill the enemy, they can't revive them. Count Dooku fits really good in this. I'm going to look at his unique here real quick. Has 100% counter chance. In addition, whenever he attacks outside of his turn, he deals 30% more damage, gains 15% turn meter, recovers 15% protection, and gains critical hit immunity for 1 turn. He can be a real pain with that protection recovery. His basic, deal physical damage to target enemy. It's 50% chance to attack again. Double the target is Galactic Republic. These attacks have a 50% chance to inflict stun and ability to block for 1 turn. So right there, really good basic. You have a chance of getting 2 attacks. Each attack has a 50% chance to inflict stun. Not very many characters have a stun on their basic. Shock the target enemy, deal physical damage and stun them for 1 turn. This attack has 50% chance to shock and stun another random enemy, doubled if the target's Galactic Republic. So right there, you have the special there where you can possibly stun 2 characters at once. And then this here is where he can stealth everyone and gives himself his special buff. Count Dooku dispels all debuffs from himself and gains reposit for 2 turns. All non-tank Separatist allies gain 15% turn meter and stealth for 2 turns. And when he has this buff, When he attacks out of turn, he ignores protection. So he definitely could run the Bactoid shield generator on him. Definitely would be an interesting thing to try out. So that right there is the team kind of in a nutshell. Went over the Omicron's suggestions. Obviously, you want Newt Gunray to be your fastest, or at least one of the fastest. Wat Tambor needs to be fast. That way you can get the text and the extortion out. And then Jango Fett, Count Dooku, obviously you want speed on them to take advantage of the speed coming off of Admiral Trench's kit. But you'd also want to focus on getting mods on that, build their offense and potency on Dooku. And Admiral Trench, obviously, you want to be focusing on keeping him healthy and obviously fast, so he can help get those debuffs and stuff out. Wat Tambor needs health. And to give you an idea how fast Newt Gunray can be real quick, just pop over here, and you can see that some of these people have him over 360 speed. And that is Admiral Trench.